So apparently there's Etsy sellers that have been smuggling and shipping weapon systems and weapons to Russia. Yikes. All that and more on this episode of Etsy Seller News. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Handmade and Beyond podcast. I'm your host, LL, for this very special edition of Etsy Seller News, where I bring you the latest and greatest news updates and just things that you guys might find interesting or need to know for your Etsy and handmade business. And this one, it's a doozy. I mean, I've never, this is craziness, but there has been an Etsy seller charged with smuggling weapons to Russia. And this just happened. And he's part of an alleged Russian smuggling operation where he has somehow retrieved weapons systems and technology meant for weapons. I don't know if he smuggled actual weapons. I think that's a little bit taller of an order to actually put weapons in boxes and send them to Europe and Russia, but he has been doing that with weapon systems and different types of technology. And it just so happens that he is an Etsy seller. Him and his wife have an Etsy craft business. So he's been using that kind of as a cover. So packages have been coming and going. Neighbors are like, yeah, there's packages coming and going all the time. We know he has an Etsy craft business, but little did they know he has a smuggling operation where he's literally sending weapons systems, weapons meant for nuclear arms and different things like that, and that type of technology, probably like computer chips and different things like that. I don't know all the details, but I just thought this was really crazy. At first, I was like, "Holy crap! Is he shipping? Is he people buying weapon systems on Etsy?" I mean, that's pretty nuts. So all of you people that make crafts specifically, I'm gonna keep my eye on you. Just to make sure you're not smuggling weapon systems overseas. But yeah, it's really crazy. I know it's just kind of, it just so happens that he's an Etsy seller as well, and he's using that kind of as a cover for all the packages coming and going. But it's definitely interesting. So it's going to see, I'm sure there's more to come on that. He is a U.S. citizen. I guess he was born in another country. I'm not sure where exactly he was born. But I think he's actually a Ukrainian citizen, but he's been trying to help Russia. I don't know. I'm not going to get in the weeds too much. I just thought that was a really crazy story that you guys might find interesting. And that's why I wanted to bring it to you. All right, on to the next one. I started out with a big boom, and I'm going to go to a next big boom that's more applicable to your daily life selling on Etsy. And this is the IRS just made the decision to completely halt the $600 threshold to get a 1099. So a lot of people were freaking out. For this tax year 2022, the IRS changed the requirement to get a 1099. Basically, that is the form that you get saying that how much income you've made selling online, that you have to pay taxes on that income. It used to be $20,000 or 2,000 or 200 transactions. Now they changed it to where it's $600. If you make $600 online, which is not hard to do, I had my first eBay sale this year. I made $600. So it's not hard to do. You can make a couple of sales and be at that threshold already. And then, holy crap, you have to file taxes on it. A lot of people were freaking out because they never did it before. A lot of people don't make $20,000. They make a side hustle of a couple grand, a couple $100 each year. So this was all new to everybody. So the IRS, I guess, because of all the confusion, not to mention the huge increase in workload from 20,000 to 600, all these companies were going to have to send out these 1099s, and they're going to get all kinds of questions about it from customers because everyone's confused. So just everything across the board created a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion. So the IRS was like, okay, stop. We're going to halt this for a year to get all our ducks in a row better, to let companies get their ducks in a row better, and then continue it for 2023 is the plan. But there's still been a lot of pushback. A lot of people, such as the eBay CEO, are pushing for Congress to really clean this up and make a final decision on if this is going to fly in 2023 or they're going to change it. make it permanent, whatever they're going to do, so it doesn't keep changing and it's not kind of willy-nilly back and forth. So hopefully we learn more about this soon, but it is good news for those of you for 2022. If you've made less than $20,000 and you have less than 200 transactions, you're not going to get a 1099. However, I'm going to warn you, I'm not an accountant, but that doesn't mean that you can't claim that income. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't claim that income on your taxes as a sole proprietor because you've made money off sales. But hey, I'm not an accountant. I'm not your parent. I'm not the person in charge of your finances. So do what you want. See an accountant if you have questions. It's just when you get a 1099, the government gets that too. So they know exactly how much you made and they know exactly how much you should be claiming on your taxes. So if you're not claiming that, your chances of getting audited are extremely high. If you're not getting a 1099, it's much harder for them to determine. So you have to make the decision on what to do there. But yeah, big news for a lot of people that were freaking out, a lot of small micro sellers out there. So calm down. You're not getting a 1099 this year, but it gives you a lot of time to get your ducks in a row. Plan on it for 2023. Make sure you're talking to an accountant. Make sure you have your ducks in a row. Make sure you're setting money aside for your taxes because you're going to have to pay taxes on that money that you're making in the next tax year. The next thing I wanted to move on to kind of along the same lines is make sure you're going into eBay and you're checking your address that's on file. So if you go to a lot of times there's a flag right on the home page in the main tab within the Etsy dashboard. Did I say eBay earlier? Etsy. Make sure I don't know what I said. Make sure you're going into Etsy. If you sell on eBay, do it too. But make sure you're verifying your address. I just moved like 3 times, so I literally just reminded myself. I was like, oh crap, my address is wrong. Verify your address just to make sure if you are getting a 1099, that's what's going to be correctly on there. If it's a different address, it could delay things. It could mess things up. And mind you, your 1099, once it's available, I think it has to be available by January 20th. Is it 20th or 26th? I don't know. Sometime in January, all that stuff has to be out by law. But once it's there, you can download it in Etsy, so you don't actually have to wait for it in the mail. I think they do still mail it, so that's another reason to make sure your address is correct. But even if you don't get it in the mail, you can download it on the Etsy platform under that information in the Etsy platform. So make sure that is correct. So all your ducks are in a row. And the last thing I want to tell you is this is something I just found. And I think they did this last year, but it's better this year. They did a year in review. You can view it on the Etsy app, or if you go into the dashboard in your Etsy shop on the desktop, there's a QR code and it'll take you to the Etsy app. And basically it's a slideshow of the different things that you did this year in your shop, your most popular keywords, your best sellers, when was your first sale, and it's interactive. They actually quiz you on some of this stuff, which is pretty neat. I thought it was very engaging rather than just giving you a random slideshow of different facts, which are still interesting. So I thought they did a really good job on this year. The thing that I really liked was it showed you how many different people bought, how many different people from different countries bought from you. So I was kind of shocked. I sold to 11 different countries, which I had no idea that I sold to that many countries. I thought maybe 3 or 4. But yeah, 11 different countries. So I have to go back and look. That's kind of crazy to me. So I thought that was pretty neat. And that was a whole slideshow. I'll actually share it up here, somewhere up here, so you guys can see that part of it, because that's what I like the most. Check that out. I think it's pretty neat. It's pretty useful information, and it's just kind of cool to kind of see an overview of what you did in 2022. But that is it, guys. Those are the things I wanted to cover today with this episode of Etsy Seller News. I haven't done one of these in a while, and really the arms dealer, smuggler, Etsy person inspired me to do one. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of big changes in 2023 as usual, and I'll try to bring those to you in a new seller news segment to keep you guys on top of things, so that you know what is going on. You can plan for now and in the future, and hey, maybe stay entertained as well. That is it. Have an amazing rest of your day. I'll be back soon with another great episode for you guys. Talk to you later.